So, lads, today we got to talk about this, and I'm going to preface this by saying, I first and foremost, I hope everything's good with Dewanna Bonner. I hope, like, I hope everything's okay with Bonner, and I'm gonna be honest, like, it's not looking good right now. It's not looking good right now, and just over an hour ago, we found out. Well, an hour and 17 minutes ago, we found out that Dewanna Bonner has been ruled out for a sixth consecutive game. And the funniest thing is, people were saying, "Oh, Dewanna Bonner saw what happened to Sophie Cunningham, and she decided she didn't want to be a part of the team anymore." It's like, man, she wasn't even there. She wasn't even there. Like it's a situation where we're like, nobody knows what is going on. Absolutely nobody. Nobody knows what is going on right now with Dewanna Bonner, but what we do know is there is a max contract slot being used on a player who's not there. And whatever about injuries, and it's a big, like, there is a difference when, as well, nobody even knows. Nobody even knows what the personal thing is. And they don't have to go into detail. Obviously, like, you shouldn't have to go into detail for something like that. But, like, nobody knows if it's a personal issue with her family. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, Alyssa Thomas is fine," but, like, her kids obviously are, I think, with her ex. But at the end of the day, like, if it was just said something like a personal, a family matter, no one's going to question it. No one's going to question it. But look, that's probably what it is. But it's been as secretive as possible. And then again, like, we've got the Rakia Jackson is pregnant type rumors where she's deleting her Instagram posts, and you've got like, deleting her Instagram posts, which she may or may not have done. No one knows they were there in the first place. People weren't screenshotting her Instagram. And then also Natasha Howard doesn't follow her. Nobody knows whether or not Natasha Howard isn't following her or wasn't following her beforehand. But yeah, it's just a weird all around situation. And she quit on her team. I'm not going to say that because we don't know what's happened. I'm not going to go that far because we don't know what's going on. But, like, you're seeing it here. DBs like me use all my vacation days before I quit. Like, and that could be the ironic thing. If she retires, she doesn't get paid. So if she does all of this, and it says here the team needs to move forward. What can the team do? I mean this when I say this. The team can't do anything. Like, do you want to be the WNBA team? The WNBA team that cuts a player and doesn't pay a player for personal reasons? Do you want to be the team that does that? Because I wouldn't be that surprised. I wouldn't be that surprised if it is if it's in the CBA, if there's something about that you can't cut a player for personal reasons. And do they want to be the team that is known for cutting a legend going through personal issues? No, the team can't do anything about it. The team can't do anything about it. If Dewanna Bonner does not want to play the rest of the year and does not want to officially retire from the sport of basketball, the Indiana Fever are just going to have to pay her. I'm trying to think what's prorated left on her 200K, 150K. Pay her to 150K extra and run through the rest of the season with a lower amount of teams. Or with a lower amount of players, with 10 players. Pay her and go out with 10 players, one of which being Timpson. Like, it's at the stage where the Fever might have to just cut their losses on Michaela Timpson, because it seems like Bree Turner, we've seen it for the last 2 years. She must have, like, being part of the WNBA Players Union, being involved with them, or Players Association, that must give you diplomatic immunity from being cut or something, because there was no reason why she was still in the league. Is her treasurer job so important that a team just has to pick her up by default? But, like, is this part of an elaborate plan? Not sure if it's true, but why do I was told she had issues with Howard and she quit. That's not That's just not. We're not doing that. It's a random player to lie about. There's no way. I mean this when I say this. There is no way Dewanna effing Bonner quit because of issues with a player. Because of issues with Natasha Howard. There is no way. There is no way. But we have to talk about it from basketball reasons. We at least had some clarity if she's away because she's contemplating retirement. I don't know if she's contemplating retirement. At the end of the day, hearing nothing is just leads to speculation. It leads to speculation. But the reality is that a lot of people are saying, oh, go and trade her to the a team. Still a mystery why she'd lead a fever data. Was it ever there? Has anyone confirmed it exists in the first place? I tweeted and I was like, please tell me that she didn't have any in the first place. And I think you can find it. If I'm not, I'm pretty sure you can by looking at Instagram posts, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to go and search Dewanna Bonner on Instagram. So Dewanna Bonner, her on Instagram. I just want to check her social blade. See if we can debunk that. Because I think there's a total amount of posts that you can see. So on Dewanna Bonner, oh my God, Social Blade, they need you to log in. I'm not signing up for Social Blade. But at the end of the day, look, we dealt with the Safari of Frank Wiggins. It's definitely frustrating and draining, but his dad was dying, so eventually died. Not saying that's what happened, but trying to think of it as she has a serious injury. Look, they're not going to cut her for personal reasons. And I think it's being kind of left in the dark. And everybody knew when it came to Wiggins that there was an issue with his family, and you kind of respect that in a way. Well, not, Jesus, I don't mean respect that in a way, but I mean, in a way, knowing that, oh, geez, why did I say the word in a way? Sorry, I misspoke. In a way, I mean, most fans. Most fans respect that. Yeah, there are some fans that only care about the sport and not the humans in the sport, and that's the thing with sports fans. If you got rid of all of them, the sport wouldn't have any fans. So if you got rid of bad fans, sports wouldn't have fans. But at the end of the day, look, we don't know what's going on with Dewanna Bonner. I don't think anyone knows what's going on with Dewanna Bonner, except for Dewanna Bonner. I hope the team knows what's going on with Dewanna Bonner. But at this stage, I don't think she's going to retire. I don't think she's going to retire. And trading her to Phoenix doesn't change anything if it does happen to be an issue. I think she came back to Indiana because she came back to Indiana to be closer to her kids. I think there is a legitimate possibility that she doesn't retire and goes play somewhere else next year. But there might just be an issue right now. And unless Dewanna Bonner literally retires, the Indiana Fever potentially could be going out with the rest of the season with 10 players. One of which being Michaela Timpson and one of which being Breanna Turner. This team is going to have 8 competent players, and I don't think you can get a hardship for a player being away for their national team, as far as I'm aware. I don't think you can get a hardship player if they're away with their national team. So you can throw away getting a hardship player, and they're probably gonna go out to the Wings game with their starting 5: Sid Colson, Lexi Hull, Bree Turner, and Michaela Timpson. Because I don't think by the Wings game, I think it's the 2nd or 3rd of July that they can sign a player where they're possibly going to sign Ari McDonald. But a lot of the Fever's problems on the defensive end are solved with Dewanna Bonner. Ironically, in this bullshit offensive Fever play, Dewanna Bonner are playing right now. Dewanna Bonner actually suits that, as we saw in a couple of the games when Caitlin was out, a couple of the puke ball slowdown games. But that is pretty much it. Apologies, lads, about the voice. Apologies about the green snuggie. As you can tell, I just saw this and missed it and got straight out of bed and started recording. So anyway, that's the video. I'll see you guys.